Hey, what's up, WordCamp Minneapolis? I'm Neely with GoDaddy Pro, here to talk to you about, WordCamp Minneapolis. And for that, I have a special guest, Michelle Schulp. Thanks for coming on and talking with me today.
Happy to be here.
Cool. So before we really get into it, let's kind of introduce who you are, what you're about, and a little bit of your business too.
Sure. So I am a designer and front-end developer, and I do all sorts of things. My business is Marktime Media, which is just me. But with that, I do anywhere from contract work for large enterprise to direct client work with small agencies, directly with clients, consultation work, all sorts of things that span across the design, user experience, and front-end development spectrum.
So a little bit of everything internet, right?
Yeah, all the internets.
All the internets. Well, cool. So you've been doing that for, I imagine, quite a while. But you're also a WordCamp organizer. What is your role with WordCamp Minneapolis?
Sure. So this year with WordCamp Minneapolis, I'm serving on the committee, but I've been doing WordCamp organizing since 2012 when I started actually on the organizing committee at WordCamp Chicago. I was lead organizer in Chicago for 2 years and in Minneapolis for 2 years. So I've been doing WordCamp organizing for forever. It's super fun. And it's definitely been interesting to watch it evolve over the years as an in-person event and also now as a virtual event.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot different this shift, but it's cool to see the community kind of come together and adapt and still be a community at the end of the day. What really got you started in the WordCamp space, if you will?
Well, honestly, it was a random Google search back in 2011. I was looking, I was I was a couple years into being independent and was doing a little bit of WordPress work, but honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing at that point. And I happened to find, when I was looking for conferences, WordCamp Chicago 2011. And I was like, wow, the price is great. So I went to this WordCamp and I sat in the back and talked to nobody and didn't go to any of the social events and just listened to all of the talks. But by the end of it, I was so enamored with it that when they asked for volunteers at the end, I'm like, you know what? I should probably throw my hat in the ring to this WordCamp thing and see if it pans out. And since then, well, it's kind of history. Like now I've organized and spoken and volunteered and traveled and done all of the things. So I'd say it's made an impact.
Yeah, it's you've definitely caught the WordCamp bug, that's for sure. So with WordCamps being so different, I kind of want you to take this in two pieces. In the IRL, in real life WordCamps, can you kind of give me a day in the life of an average experience there versus now the virtual events? Like what should people expect?
Sure. So they are very, very different experiences, and I'm really glad that in the future they're going to be treated more differently. But in real life, day in the life of a WordCamp, it kind of depends on the city. A WordCamp can be anywhere from 50 people to thousands of people, depending on which one it is. But at its core, it's kind of the same. You have a volunteer-driven, community-driven, highly talented speakers on the stage sharing their knowledge with you because they want to. An organizing team and a team of volunteers that are giving up a lot of hours to be able to put on an event. And people from all across the knowledge spectrum, anywhere from literally the people that write WordPress core code to somebody that's just barely opened up the WordPress admin for the first time. And I think that cross section of people and the amount of enthusiasm that causes people to want to give up their weekends to do something for free about an internet platform is great. And that vibe still carries over into the digital events. I mean, people are there because they want to be, even more so. Now we're not even hanging out with people. We're sitting at our computer even more and staring at a screen even more because we're so interested in it. It's a little bit different because you don't get that face-to-face interaction, but what is nice about it is that you can treat it a little bit more asynchronously. So you can go to an event even if you wouldn't have been able to make it in person. You can just watch the sessions that are important. And a lot of sponsors will have Zoom rooms and hallway tracks and stuff that you can jump in on, so you can still get some of that hanging out by the sponsor booth feeling that's kind of fun at a WordCamp. So I think either way, it's a really fun and lovely and obviously educational experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, it's definitely hits that wide spectrum of, like you said, brand new. I have no idea even maybe what WordPress is. I just heard it. I want to kind of learn. And we've got those hardcore coders that just go in and just love it. And what I love about it too is like everyone's there just to be there with each other, and everyone's just happy and friendly, no matter who you are or where you're from. And it's just a great overall experience. Shifting gears quite a bit, actually. I want to give the viewers kind of a couple takeaways that they can take with their own business if they're trying to aspire to become where you are with your business, because you've been doing this for a while and you have tons of experience. What challenges did you face early on that you'd like to help others avoid?
The biggest things that I've learned along the way are not really necessarily coding or design skill related. We can all learn those things. There's plenty of tutorials online for that. What's been the biggest lesson I've learned is number one, in communication. It's more important to your clients, whether that is an agency or a company or whatever. It's more important that they know that they're being heard and what you're working on and what's going on, more so than whether or not you're always right or always have the answer or always going to deliver exactly the right thing. They would rather hear ongoing messages, be kept up to date. I used to want to like try to fix everything before I got in touch, which would mean that I would just go dark and be in a cave, and that would make them more nervous. Right. That's not a great idea. So number one, communication. That's what I learned. Number two, I learned that you're kind of only as strong as your network. So especially as an independent, if you want to do things yourself, you're never really actually doing things yourself. If you have a strong network, which you get from going to things like WordCamps, meeting people online, being active on Twitter, contributing to things on GitHub or in the forums or wherever, if you have a strong network, you have people to go to for help. If you have a question, everyone's always willing to help. That's a delightful thing about WordPress. But also you have places to get referrals from. A lot of other people get work that maybe doesn't fit what they're doing. If they know that you do that thing, they can pass it on to you, and vice versa. Having a strong network has really just like, my business is incredibly successful because of that. So
yeah, you absolutely cannot go it alone. Even if you're a freelancer, you're never alone. You have to have even just a support system, someone just to talk to, because it gets lonely when it's all by yourself. Well, thanks so much, Michelle, for taking us through WordCamp Minneapolis and the lessons you learned with your business. Again, WordCamp Minneapolis is on August 21st. You can get your tickets at the link below. This is Neely with GoDaddy Pro. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.